Umepata kazi juzi, bank. You are now doing business very well as a contractor or anything else. Your first money, what do? Buy a plot. Then after buying a plot, build flats. Guys, my brothers and sisters, big companies like the one I quoted, including Equity Bank, including their own headquarters, is leased. They don't own. So you want to tell me, in your mind you have more CFAs, you have more actuaries, you have more financial advisors than Equity Bank? And I am saying that with all due respect with my brothers who are in that business. I'm now talking to the buyer, not the seller. Other than the house that you live in, and other than the farm that you need, what is this plot you have in Kitegera, and the other one in Kamuru, and the other one in Kigajo, and the other one in Narumoro? Ni ya nini, ni ya kufanya nini? I am not saying that I am an oracle, but I just want to tell you, mimi sina pahali nachukuaga rent. Because you realize this business of building things, building, you are actually doing it for the satisfaction of the people who live in, not for you to make money. Because the return on investment on a flat, the return on investment is less than 8%. People will keep saying, oh, 12 or 15%, toa yote, and you give it time. It will oscillate and still settle down below 8%. Let me ask you, when you build a house anywhere, including anywhere in Nyeri, your utility as an investor of that house is only the money you get, because you have no utility of living there. So your math must be very direct. Musianza hizo vitu kuwa sensational, owning a flat, nini. Let's be practical. You have 8 flats, manyumba mrefu hivi. Do you live there? So why did you build? To make money, is it? Is that the most optimal manner of putting your money? That should be your only consideration. Now, usileta emotions. Because if you live there, you can justify and say a utility of a house where you live cannot be justified by how much you are getting. You don't live there. You've not been there for 6 months. Your caretaker lives there more times than you. Then watu hawapumui, kuna furaha tunacheka ingine, and munaonaga all my friends who build, they are always on phone. We mwaga mchanga, we kakoto lile, there is always a story hapo. Mahiga mashone mwaiga kidimaithi Even if you want to own that flat, why can't you invest where you are getting double digit? After getting that double digit, wait for your brother angangane na simiti kuibiwa, angangane na nini. Wewe ukipata ROE yako ya 18%, after 5 years, through the faida peke yake, uende ununue akuwe amechoka on your behalf. Fanya hesabu, my friend. The other thing is that you do not need to use your money all the time. I do a lot of mentorship for university students in my office. And when they come, everyone, when they want to start a business, ni kama kamanyu kanapeanwa pahali. Sasa nikimaliza kuongeleza hivi na venye nimejikakamua leo, hata siongei siasa ati ni juu ya biashara. Then nikitoka hapo, unajua utaniuliza aje, okay, umeongea vizuri, where do you get capital? That is the question that is almost resonates every time. Nitatoa wapi capital? Na mimi wacha nikuulize, capital ya kufanya nini? Because that is the what you need to answer. All that, when you get somebody asking you, nitatoa wapi capital, hana idea. Because if you have a very well polished idea of a business, believe you me, you will attract money. And money is not just borrowing. There are many models of financing a business, and they are in Kenya also, not just in the US. Facebook never became Facebook because it was Facebook. Facebook became Facebook because people like Peter Thiel is a venture capital, invested money in Facebook back then. By the way, mathematics. Peter Thiel invested in Facebook. Everything else you see in Kenya in terms of development, like even the Talanta Stadium, is also not part of the 12 trillion debt. That is another debt securitization of the sports fund, where we borrowed 46 billion and we'll be paying 100 billion in interest rate alone after 15 years. Kenya has always had development for the many years, but we never had to borrow that much. President Kibaki did a lot of development. He borrowed only 1.2 trillion for 10 years. Where is the 1.2 trillion we are borrowing every year going? To make the matter worse, everything you see with your eyes happening in Kenya now, in terms of development, what you can see, for example, the expansion of this Keno Marwa Road, is not even part of the 12 trillion borrowed. Is another loan on the side called fuel levy securitization. Everything else you see in Kenya in terms of development, like even the Talanta Stadium, is also not part of the 12 trillion debt. That is another debt, securitization of the sports fund, where we borrowed 46 billion and we'll be paying 100 billion in interest rate alone after 15 years. Even the expansion of Nairobi-Nakuru Road is also not part of the 12 trillion we have borrowed. That is NSSF money being used as a PPP to build that road. I request those who are in government, you have already borrowed 1.2 trillion every year. And even what we can see with our eyes is actually not part of that borrowing. Please, kueni na huruma ya nchi ya Kenya. Even as we preside over the affairs of our country, let us be, tujue kwa akili zetu ya kwamba there is Kenya after elections. Let us not run our country in terms of overheating it. We must avoid to become like Sri Lanka. We must avoid to become like Ghana. We must avoid to become like Ethiopia. We must avoid to become like Zambia in the recent years. Because Kenya is a strong country with internal resources. This issue of profligate borrowing must come